All right, everybody, we have a really, really good episode for you today. I've been super excited about this. A lot of people have asked me to do a solo pod. Here you go. So this is a solo pod of me just answering viewer questions. A couple weeks ago, I asked a bunch of questions on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you name it. And today we're going to answer all the best questions. I'm super excited to get into it. But before we do, okay, you already know the drill, baby. This episode is brought to you by Renovo Financial. You already know the drill. If you want a hard money loan, okay, Renovo Financial, all the biggest flippers I know, they're rocking with Renovo. That's a big fact. Also, if you're a landlord and you want to refinance out of some of these hard money loans into a DSCR loan, baby, rock it with Renovo. They're a one-stop shop. What is better than that? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So hit up Jeremy from Renovo and you'll be a happy camper. All right, let's get into it. All right, I'm super excited. I have Sexy Sam, my lady, behind the camera. She's going to be asking the questions. I'm really excited to get into this. So, Samantha, let's start it up, baby girl.
Okay, let's start with a good one. How did you get your first deal? What marketing channel did you use and why?
Very cool question. So, I got my first deal through agent outreach. And for anybody looking to get into wholesaling or getting into acquisitions in general, and if you don't have a big budget to spend on marketing or you don't have a ton of skills yet, agent outreach is the best thing that you can do. And the reason that I say that is twofold. Number one, it is free to do. You don't need any money. And number two, okay, you don't need to learn how to deal with sellers, take photos, or any of that yet. Okay. And you know what? I'll add a third on there. It could happen really, 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 really quick. And the reason that it could happen quick is because you are able to make a ton of offers over a short period of time. Okay. So I did agent outreach. I made an offer on every single property that was listed in the city of Philadelphia, and I wholesaled one of Janet Papale's listings. Janet Papale, if you're listening to that deal that I did with you on Potter Street or whatever street it was, it meant nothing to you, but it was my first deal and it meant everything to me, and it helped me open a can of worms that I've never unshut.
What's the difference between wholesaling and being an agent?
The difference between being a wholesaler and being an agent is position and compensation structure. Okay. So if you are an agent, you are either working on behalf of a seller or you're working on behalf of a buyer. Okay. And you are going to be paid a percentage of the sales price. Very, very simple. If you are a wholesaler, however, you're not representing the seller, you're not representing the buyer, you're representing yourself. You have no interest in the buyer or the seller. You have an interest in your own pocket and making as much money as possible, which is super gangster. Let's go. I love it. Okay. And you are not compensated by a percentage of the purchase price. You are compensated by a spread. So, however good of a deal that you are able to find, you will be how much you are paid will be directly reflected on that. Okay. So you're paid by a spread. If you can get a seller down to 80 grand, but it's really worth 100 grand, you making 20 racks, baby. God bless America. Let's go. And that is the difference.
How can one get started? And do you offer mentorships?
If you want to get started in wholesaling real estate, the best way to start is get on YouTube University. I taught myself how to wholesale by going on YouTube, and I think it's the best option really for anybody. And my major suggestion would be do not consume content from a million different people, okay? Because there's so many different strategies, there's so many ways to win in this business that if you take information from a bunch of different people, all that information will kind of go against one another and you'll be completely lost. One person says do this, one person says don't do this, and they're both successful. Who do you listen to? It's too complicated. Pick one person, two people tops, okay, that both have similar strategies at least, and take their word as the Bible and rip it. Okay. For me, it was Jerry Norton. For you, maybe it'll be Jerry Norton also. Maybe it'll be yours truly. Okay. But pick one person, consume their content, fully follow their program, and rip it. And do I offer mentorship? I don't have a formal mentorship. I'm not really looking to be in the mentorship game. I'm just trying to give out free education for y'all. But if you would like to, you can book a call with me and I'll put you on. I charge a small fee for it for my time. And anyone that books a call with me, I give free mentorship to be. And the reason I do free mentorship is because I'm not really held to anything, and neither are you. There we go. Drop the cord, baby.
Okay, I like this question. What was the biggest mistake you made since starting?
Okay, the biggest mistake that I made since getting into this game, there is 2 major mistakes that I made, maybe even 3. And Samantha, you correct me if you think that there was anything else that I have really messed up on in this business, okay? Because Samantha has been with me since day one. Day one, she's seen every mistake I've ever made. And the major mistakes that I have made since getting into this, number 1, okay, would be having the wrong expectations for myself. For so long, I was rocking around as the 5-piece king, the 5K king, okay? I was doing a bunch of 5-piece deals, and I thought that I needed to do these 5-piece deals because I couldn't turn down any check. Any money was good money to me because I had a family, right? Wrong. That is not the case. Absolutely not the case. Because if you accept small pieces of change from the universe, that's what the universe will give you. Those small deals, okay, are the most complicated and most difficult deals to do, and it take up all your bandwidth. The average assignment fee for going direct to seller and doing outbound marketing across the country is 15 grand, and the average assignment for inbound marketing is 25 grand. So if you're doing a 5 grand deal, you are below average. You're a loser. You shouldn't be doing that, okay? And I thought that that was acceptable, and it held me back for many, 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 many years. It's better to do one 20K deal than to do 4 or 5 pieces. You'll have a way better quality of life. So that was my major mistake. Wrong mindset and wrong evaluation of my worth. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2 was growing too quickly. Okay, I'll tell you what, when I started getting money in this business originally, I never took that money and bought a bunch of luxury things or lived above my means on a personal living standpoint. Samantha's right here. She'll be the first to tell you we've never really balled. We don't go on a million trips. Do we go on a bunch of trips? Do we live crazy? Do we have the nice BMW? No. Absolutely not. We drive a Hyundai, baby. I don't care about any of that. But I did take all that money and throw it back in, which I think is really cool. However, I was not ready yet. So I built up a team way too early before I actually had the financial capabilities to keep it running really more than a quarter. Okay. I had 5, 6 sales guys and I wasn't ready for it. And when it didn't work. Oh, did I fail big? I lost it all. I lost everything. I had to fire everybody because I lost all my money and we were financially broke as a family and I had to completely restart. So growing too big before you're ready. You want to build a big team? That's all well and dandy, but you better save up a bunch of money before you do it, because when you start building a team, you are going to make much less income. I promise you. Number 1, you have other people that will eat on the money that you're bringing in. Number 2, you have to wait a while for these people to get good to even bring in as many deals as you are bringing in. So you're bringing in less deals and you're making a smaller percentage of the deals as you were before. And I was not ready for that. So before you do that, make sure you have a ton of cash saved up that you can do that for 6 months and it doesn't matter. That was a big lesson that I learned. And those are the 2 real major lessons I really think I've learned. Do you think there's anything else that I really screwed up with that we've learned a lot? Can you think of anything? Those are good answers. All right, cool. Also, not listen. Samantha is very smart when it comes to taking a look at our marketing and what is going well and what is not going well and what I should focus on. Because sometimes I just get so excited about certain things, and I think that if I started listening to Samantha about what I should be focusing on, because she's very good with that kind of mind, I would have started having success quicker.
Like what? Do you know an example?
Heck yeah, I know an example. Are you kidding me? This is the first time it ever happened. Okay, Samantha looked at all my data and said, Nick, you realize your biggest deals were all from going after absentee owner. Why don't you just go after absentee owner? This was 4 years ago. Okay, why are you going after this, that just all your biggest deals are from here? Why don't you just do that? And my mind exploded. And I just dove into that for 2 years and it worked really, really well for us.
Okay.
And then from then on, I was like, okay, wait, maybe I shut up and just, when Samantha says something, listen.
Okay. All right. Do you recommend PPL for a beginner?
Do I recommend PPL for a beginner? Let me hit you with it. It all depends on your background and your skill set. So if you are a beginner in real estate acquisitions, right, but you are a good salesperson, you are a proven salesperson, I think PPL may be a great marketing strategy for you to start with, as long as you have the financial capabilities. It will take you at least $5,000 to get a deal. It'll take you $5,000 to get a deal. Okay. So if you have $5,000 that you can throw at the wall and throw on the street and you're a good salesperson, you should do PPL. It'll be the quickest way for you to get a deal. It'll be the quickest way for you to get a deal. If you already are good at sales and you have $5,000 to spend on marketing. Okay. Also, if you have $5,000 that you can spend on marketing that you're willing to put in the street and see what happens, and maybe you don't have sales skills, but you have access to somebody like myself with sales skills that will help you and that will hold your hand and do the appointments with you, then I think PPL is a great option for you. Alec, my video guy, he's never done anything sales related whatsoever in his life. But after filming a bunch of stuff, he's like, okay, you know what? Screw it, Nikki. I want to get into wholesaling. I want to start doing that. What marketing should I do? He told me a situation. You know what? It made sense for him to just spend $5,000 on PPL leads because I was willing to help him every step of the way. All he needed to do was book the appointments, which is super, super simple. And I would just go on his appointments with him. And guess what? He got a deal. He got a deal in his first ad spend because he had somebody to help him with. But if you're not in either of those two scenarios, right? So if you don't have $5,000 that you can spend, if you don't have $5,000 that you can spend, don't do PPL. If you have $5,000 that you can spend, but you don't have anyone that'll go on your appointments with you and hold your hand, you can't do PPL, or else you just pee your money away.
Okay, well, we'll go to the next one then. Do you advise to start out with agent outreach if you have a limited budget?
The best way to start wholesaling real estate is to do agent outreach. I love agent outreach for so many reasons. Number one, it is absolutely free to do. Okay. Number two, you don't need to worry about going to any of the properties or dealing with any of the sellers or doing any real follow-up whatsoever, because all of the photos of the property, they're on the market. The agent already did the work to follow up with them. The seller already wants to sell. There you go. So you don't have to deal with follow-up. You don't have to deal with taking the pictures. You don't have to deal with talking to the sellers. It's great. So that's really, really it. At that point, it's really just a numbers game and it's absolutely free to do. I think agent outreach is awesome. I have restarted my life 3-4 different times, and every single time I did it with agent outreach. And agent outreach has literally saved our family's life 3-4 times. It's awesome. And if I failed and I lost all our money today, by the end of the day, I would be doing agent outreach. And by the end of one quarter, we would be on track to get all our money back. And within 1 year, we would be even further than we are now.
What are your plans for marketing the social media platforms to scale them?
Ooh, very good question. So the purpose of my social media is sort of threefold, not even twofold. So number one, my social media has been great for me to dispo deals. Every single buyer in the area, either they follow me, or if they are not on social media, their realtor follows me. So when it's time for me to dispo a deal, I just put it on my Facebook and I put it on my Instagram story, and all of the hungry hyenas blow my phone up. I don't really have I don't do the email blast. I don't have to do any of that because I have been sweating and bleeding and putting so much work into building an organic, real social media following, so that if I want to sell a deal, I can just put it up and everyone hits me up. So my social media, the point of that is mainly to dispo deals. That's number one. Number two, the second point of my social media, okay, I'll tell you what, is to give back. I didn't have any money when I started this, and I taught myself how to wholesale because Jerry Norton provided a bunch of free content and laid out free programs that you could follow. And it meant the world to me that I had that. And I think it's the wrestler in me that I just want to be able to give back to people. And that's why I do all this free content. If I can help one person change their life, two people change their life, it means the world to me. And it's really, really cool. I've been able to help so many people change their life. And what I get emotionally out of that is unreal. So that's really the truth. And third is the ability to raise capital for anything. And it's very, very simple for me. Everybody, my social media is my resume. Everybody sees it and knows, oh, wow, Pops knows what he's doing. He can handle the bag. And there we go. Those are the 3 reasons for my social media. My plan is just to post 1-2 times every single day and let it organically grow. I don't have any products that I'm necessarily pushing. If you go to my bio, the only real products that I have are the services that I use, and people ask me and they want to know, hey, what service do you use? Can I use it? You want launch control? Bing, bang, boom. It's right there. And that's really it. I'm not trying to push any products on you. I don't care about that. But I'll tell you what I'm using if you want to use it too. Knock yourself out. That I got my credit repair in there because my man Patrick literally helped me so much. Like, and if you guys want credit repair, go to my bio, bro. Go hit up Patrick, and he will be so not judgmental with you, and he's a very good person to trust with the information. Promise you that, and he'll help you dramatically. I don't mean to get teary, but like he helped me a lot.
Okay. Work-life balance, running a business from home. You okay?
That's very difficult too. Yeah, I just got choked up. I just like, sometimes I think about like how far Samantha and I have come with all this, and like the people that have helped me just like makes me emotional. It's really cool. Work-life balance. We don't have a work-life balance in this house. Our work. Yeah, but the thing is, my whole life is doing everything that I want to do, and that's really it. So like, I love everything that I do. I do my little real estate thing. I do my little content thing. Samantha helps me with everything, so we bond in that way. My children come with me to everything. So I'm constantly with my family at all times. So they are so intermixed that there's no balancing of one thing to another necessarily, because I feel like they're very intermixed. That being said, I don't go out with the boys. I don't have anything like that I do that takes me away from my family necessarily. So like, I don't want to do that. I'm working on my real estate thing. I'm working on my content thing, or I'm doing jujitsu, or I'm spending time with my family. I don't really have outside things from that. I either do I do revenue producing activities, and I spend time with my family. So like, that is my life. Do you think I'm explaining that well, Samantha?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Or you combine them like we are right now.
Oh yeah, we combine them like we are right now.
This is just work, but
yeah, but I'm having so much fun with you.
I think you do a good job of. It's hard actually working at home because we're all trying to run our businesses, but also have regular life. I would say a lot of our regular life it just revolves around.
Yeah, but like what we want is different than
because we love work.
Yeah, we love what we do. Like, it's not even work. It's like I have projects that I'm working on.
I will say that you do a really good job of even though it's really hard. Like if you have to work and we're here and like me and the baby are having fun or whatever, and you know when you can't join in.
Yes.
And people probably struggle with that because it actually is really hard to balance that. I have a hard time balancing that.
Facts. I think we all do, but it's okay.
But you know when you have to dial in and be working. And I think that's hard, and you choose that a lot because we have to.
Facts.
Okay, sorry, I didn't have another question ready. Let's see. Best way to work with agents where it's a win-win.
The best way to work with agents where it is a win-win, there's 2 different ways. Agent outreach to get deals. They're going to make money and you're going to make money. They're going to make double commission and you're going to make a lot of money. And also, every deal that you do with an agent, for the most part, then you're probably going to make a friend. And I call them 10 grand friends. Okay. So a lot of these agents, they don't get a ton of distressed deals. Okay. So if you do a distressed deal with an agent, they're not getting a lot of those. So the next one they get, guess who they're going to go to first is you. So let's say an agent gets 1-2 distressed deals a year and you're their guy. That means, oh man, just by being their friend, you're going to make an extra 10, 20 grand a year just by being their friend. So if you have 10, 12, if you have 12 agents that are all 10 grand friends that give you one deal a year, that's 120 grand just by having friendships. You don't even technically have to work. So that is a way that you can really utilize agents is, again, building relationships with agents and doing agent outreach. It's great. Also, another way is dispoing your deals. Sometimes these buyers don't want to be on Facebook looking for these deals, but there are agents out there that are scouring Facebook and Instagram, looking what wholesalers have what deals so that they can bring to their buyers to flip and get the end listing. Actually, there are 2 guys in Jersey that do such a great job with this. It's not even funny. They make such great money with 0 marketing costs because they are active on Facebook. Joe Polidero, shout out to Joe Polidero. He's super good at this. He was wholesaling for a little bit, but now he's a very successful agent because he just brings all these investors deals with the end goal of just getting the end listing. Same thing with John Rennick. John Rennick makes great money without marketing costs because he's smart, just like Joe, and is active on Facebook and social media, looking at what wholesalers have, what deals. They don't really care about what they're making on the wholesale side of things. They'll make a couple grand, who cares? They care about what they're going to make at the end listing. And it's really, really good because the agents like that, they will TC the whole deal on the buyer side. It's awesome. Shout out to those guys. Those guys are awesome. For real.
Finding a good title company and how can they help you in a way that people wouldn't think?
The title company, low-key, is everything. If you, everybody knows this, I'm really open about this. Y'all got to sponsor my pod, by the way. What the heck? Prosperity Abstract in PA, New Jersey. If you do the deal with them and you are on the wholesale side or the sales side or on the buy side or on the sell side, but that's who you want to go with. I promise you. I have had so many deals that no title company would have been able to close with, but Lexi and Maria and Dana somehow got the deal to the closing table, whether it was crazy chaotic sellers that no one could communicate with other than them, or super annoying, difficult to deal with lenders or buyers. They're the best, right? So there's a lot of title companies out there that are not going to help you deal with the seller very well or the buyer very well or the lender very well. And it's imperative that you have kind of an authority figure that people will really listen to, that will be able to relay difficult messages and stuff. So Prosperity is the best. There's other title companies that I use, but they're by far my favorite without a question. So if you're in PA, New Jersey, use Prosperity Abstract. There's other title companies that are good, but they're my favorite, so I'm gonna plug them. It's the fact.
Did you say how can they help you in ways you didn't think of?
How they can help you is by dealing with crazy sellers and dealing with the crazy lenders. Those sellers and the lenders, you're just the wholesaler, just the buyer. They're only gonna take you so serious. They're not gonna look at you as an authority figure. But the title company, they are the authority figure in the transaction. So you want a capable authority figure that actually understands things and understand what needs to be done. And so you've got to pick the right title company, I promise. There are other great ones also in the area that I do use, but Prosperity is the best.
As a wholesaler, would you take a note in mortgage in lieu of an assignment fee to help the deal go through?
Shit, no, I would never do that. I would never do that. That's crazy. I don't do any of the creative finance stuff. I think it's nonsense. I think it's BS 9 out of 10 times. There are instances where it makes sense for the seller, and that is the only way that you can help them. And it is what it is. Not the end of the world, but I would never do that. I would team up with somebody on a flip, and I would, 50-50 with somebody on a flip and let them bring the money. I bring the deal. That's fine. But I would never do any kind of note or anything like that. Just give me the fucking money.
Why do wholesalers say they are buying with cash and lose out on a financing contingency on the A to B that lasts the life of the contract, and then assign it to someone saying financing is okay?
Oh, what a great question. I love this question. The reason being is because cash is just a general term. Uh, Almost never, when people say cash, are they really using their own cash, or either using private money or a hard money loan. That's what always is happening. Okay. And the reason why wholesalers don't say hard money or private money or whatever it is because a lot of these sellers are stupid and they will get in the way of themselves. And it is our job to help people not get in the way of themselves. We're looking to help people. And sometimes that's what we have to do to help people. Because if you say hard money, you won't get the deal. But if you say cash, you will get the deal. So also it's selfish because we have families. Like, I'll tell you whatever it is. If you're so stupid that you don't understand that it's all the same, that's not my problem. That's your problem for being dumb. I'm not going to take food out of my family's mouth. So I'm just going to say cash, knowing that it's a general term. And that's it. And that is really, really the reason. Is because it doesn't matter, because we have families to feed, and it is a way to help the sellers not get in front of themselves, because a lot of them don't realize that real cash means such a cheap offer. It doesn't make any sense, like it doesn't work that way. There you go. And no one uses their own cash unless they're lending on somebody else's deal.
I think there's like one.
Cool.
When you go and offer someone significantly lower price than they're asking for, and you come with a notepad of huge costs to fix, does the seller quickly change their tune, or do they hear you out and take in consideration of the costs?
That is a good question, because everybody has their own style. There are people that will go with a polo, the khakis, the clipboard. I don't do that. So it's difficult for me to answer. I don't do that whatsoever. I don't have a clipboard. I don't write anything down. I just pop up on them and talk to them. A lot of the time we're talking about price before I even look at the house, unless the seller has a personality style where they want to bring me through the whole house and give me a sales little pitch thing. So it really, really depends on somebody's sales process, because anything can work as long as you're good at it, you say it right. Now, for me, I don't do a laundry list of things or repairs. I don't really believe in that. I have a much different method. So difficult for me to answer on that front. However, I'll say this. No one cares about a reason. No one wants to hear an excuse. Excuses are like buttholes. Everybody has them, and no one wants to smell them. I promise you that. So sometimes it's good to explain some different costs, and there can be a benefit to that. But if you break down a laundry list of items that need to be repaired, that doesn't usually work super well from my experience. People don't like the whole clipboard thing. People like the human being thing.
I think that is it.
Heck yeah. Before we go, Samantha, yeah, hit me.
General advice on lead management and tracking your KPI.
Great question. So first, you need a CRM. I use Podio. I like Podio a lot. If you're not super tech savvy, don't try to build your own setup in Podio. You'll get lost. I have no association with them whatsoever. I don't get paid for this. I'm just going to tell you. So go to Wholesale CRM and they'll build you out a whole Podio thing. That's what I did. It's like $100 a month, and they'll build you out a whole thing. And also their support. If you need anything changed or you need any help at all, you can always reach out to them and they'll help you or change whatever it is. And that's why you pay the $100 a month. It's really, really great. That's what I think you should do. And then I have a whole video on my YouTube about how to manage your leads and about lead management. Watch that video. It's literally how I manage all my leads, and I think it'll be very, very, very helpful for you. I actually came up with the idea to make that video because I saw RJ Bates made a really good video about it. So I said, screw it, I'll make one too. So watch my video on YouTube, and there you go.
That's actually it this time.
Okay. And Samantha, before we go, do you have any questions for me? Now I'm going to put you on the spot too.
I would have come with questions.
Oh no.
Do I have any questions?
All right, Samantha's going to think for 1 second if she's got any questions.
They heard me. I'll have one next time. I probably have questions, but you can give me
I
the
didn't
chance.
think about it. Man, you're right. Okay, well, everybody, I hope you've really, really enjoyed this. I hope you got value out of it. I've had a lot of fun answering your questions. Keep in mind, if you want a hard money or a DSCR loan, you hit up Renovo Financial. Also, if you need to get your credit fixed, link in all my bios on social media. Go over to My Better FICO, and they'll help you out. What the heck? What's better than that? All right, everybody, happy hunting.